Good evening students. Today we will discuss about the lesson electromagnetism. In the earliest means 19th century, everyone thinks that electricity and magnetism, these are two different topics. But from the experiment of Ørsted in the year 1820, they know that there is a relation between the electricity and magnetism. By doing one experiment, what he did is he constructed a circuit, and below that circuit he kept a magnetic compass. When the current passing through that wire, he observed that there is a deflection in the compass. Again, to confirm it, he changed the direction of the current. Then also he got the deflection on the magnetic compass in opposite direction from the previous. So then he concluded that when a current carrying wire creates a magnetic field, if there is a current carrying wire is there means there is a magnetic field existed. So what is a magnetic field? We already learned in the previous classes in 8th class about the contact forces and field forces. In field forces we learned about the magnetic force. Without having any physical contact, the force exerted by a body is called field force. If we kept anything magnetic material near the magnetic compass, it affects that magnetic materials. Everyone knows that one. That is called field force. Then how can we decide the intensity of that magnetic field? By using the magnetic field lines, we can say the intensity of that magnet. We already know that magnet has two poles, north pole and south poles. At poles magnetic strength is more, at middle of the magnet the strength is very less. So at the force it has more strength, we are saying. How can we decide that more strength? The word more strength, that denotes the magnetic field lines. The number of magnetic field lines passing through in a area, particular area, is called magnetic flux. In a particular area, the number of field lines passing through them is called magnetic flux. That is denoted by phi. See, magnetic flux, the number of lines passing through the plane of area perpendicular to the field is called magnetic flux. It is denoted by phi. The SI unit of magnetic flux is Weber. Then magnetic flux density. The magnetic flux passing through unit area taken perpendicular to the field. When the field lines are passing through a area perpendicular to the field is called magnetic flux. The magnetic flux passing through a area perpendicular to the field is called magnetic flux density. That is denoted by B. B is equal to phi by A. Phi means magnetic flux, by A means area. So the units are phi by A. Suppose the angle between theta be the angle between magnetic field and normal to the plane with area A is, then the equation will be B is equal to phi by A cos theta, or phi is equal to BA cos theta. Here BA cos theta means B is a vector, A is a vector. BA cos theta we got means B dot A. So what does it mean? Magnetic flux density is a scalar. By using, we are getting dot product of two vectors, we will get scalar. Cross product of two vectors, we will get vector. The SI unit of magnetic flux density B is Weber per meter square. We have another name for that Weber per meter square, that is Tesla. Now magnetic field due to current. Due to current, magnetic field, how it generates in a straight wire carrying current, in a circular coil and in a solenoid. How the magnetic field varies, let us discuss. In a straight wire carrying current, we know that when a wire current passes through it, it creates a magnetic field. Then what is the direction of that magnetic field? Suppose we have to take the direction of the electric field, then we can decide the direction of the magnetic field by using the right hand thumb rule. See here, this is the right hand thumb rule. First, suppose we are keeping here means the thumb represents the direction of current, then the magnetic field denotes the remaining finger's direction. First, suppose it is penetrating into the paper. let us see, it is penetrating to the paper. What happens? What is the direction of the fingers? It is moving in a clockwise direction. So the clockwise direction of the fingers gives the direction of magnetic field. So the current passes through the inside. In the same way, when the current remaining fingers shows the direction of magnetic field, so that means anti-clockwise. When current coming out of the face, then we can say that that is anti-clockwise direction. The direction of the magnetic field is anti-clockwise direction. When the current penetrates into the paper, then we can get the clockwise direction of the magnetic field. So we can say that electric current and magnetic field are in perpendicular to each other. In the same way, if you take a circular coil, how we will get? When you curl your right hand fingers in the direction of current, thumb gives the direction of magnetic field, reverse to the wire carrying, straight wire carrying current. Let us see, like see, suppose the curled fingers shows the direction of current, then the thumb gives the direction of magnetic field. In a straight wire carrying current, thumb represents the direction of the current and curled fingers shows the direction of magnetic field. In a circular coil, thumb represents the magnetic field direction and curled fingers shows the direction of current. In a solenoid, it is a long wire wounded a closed packed helix like this, means in a spiral, like spiral. Solenoid, when current passes through from the solenoid, see this is the direction of current, then what happens? Current passing through this coil, then magnetic field will be generated. How we can say this magnetic field is, it acts like a bar magnet. We know that in bar magnet field lines always coming from the north side and enter into the south pole. All field lines are in outer way. All field lines are coming in from the north and enter into the south. But inside from south to north, they move inside south to north. They act like a closed loops. Magnetic field lines are closed loops and parallel to each other. Then how we can decide the pole in a solenoid, where the south pole will be formed and where the north pole will be formed? To identify this, we have a small identification. Let us see, for north pole, if you connect the ends, in which direction you are connecting this one? In a anti-clockwise. When the current passing through in anti-clockwise, then in that place we can get the north pole. See the direction of the current. Here it is moving. See, here it is clockwise. From here onwards, if you take this, acts like a anti-clockwise. So at anti-clockwise, it forms north pole. If you connect the ends of the S, in which direction we are connecting? Clockwise direction. So when the current passing through the coil in clockwise direction, we will get the south pole, and in anti-clockwise we will get the north pole in a solenoid. Magnetic force on moving charge and current carrying wire. When current carrying wire produces magnetic field, we know. In that magnetic field, how much force will be exerted in a moving charge? The formula for that is F is equal to QVB. Q be the charge, V be the velocity of the charge, and B the magnetic flux density. B be the magnetic flux density. Theta be the angle between the direction of field B and V. Then the formula will be changed to F is equal to QVB sin theta. That means the product of B and V. Here the B and V are the vectors. So BV sin theta, it is a cross product. Therefore the magnetic field is a vector. When change moves parallel to the field, theta becomes 0. For suppose this is the field. When a charge moving in a perpendicular to this, then maximum force will be exerted on that particular charge. When it is parallel to the field, suppose field, this is perpendicular and this is parallel. What happens? The number of Charged particles moving will be very less and negligible. At the same time, from the formula also we can get theta becomes 0, sin theta is 0, so the total force becomes 0. Then what does it mean force becomes 0 means? No force acts on the charged particles. When the charged particles moving parallel to the field, parallel to the magnetic field, then there is no effect of the force on the charged particles. Next, right hand thumb rule. To know when a current carrying wire produces magnetic field, then we need to know the directions, we use the right hand thumb rule. Let us see this. The thumb shows the direction of current and middle finger shows the direction of magnetic field. Then the force exerted by that particle shows the thumb. Then thumb gives you the force. These three must be perpendicular to each other. These three fingers must be perpendicular to each other. Thumb shows the direction of current and middle finger shows the direction of magnetic field perpendicular to each other. Perpendicular to these two, the force will be acts. First, suppose there is a change in the direction of current. What happens? Force downwards, works downwards. Like that, by using the right hand thumb rule, we can identify the direction of force acting on a charged particle. Force on a straight wire carrying current which is kept perpendicular to the uniform magnetic field B is, we already know that formula F is equal to QVB. Q means the charge of one particle. But in a current carrying wire has so many charged particles. So the total charge in the total charge is Q and velocity be the V and BV is the magnetic field. Then we know that velocity is equal to distance by time. Here distance means length of the conductor. So length by time. So in spite of V you can write L by T. By using this formula you can convert Q by T into L into B. Then we already know in electricity lesson Q by T gives the current I. So F is equal to ILB. For suppose the theta be the angle between the I and B, here electric field and it is magnetic. Theta be the angle between the I and B, then F is equal to ILB sin theta. This is also a vector. Electric motor. In electric motor, electric energy is converted into mechanical energy. Faraday's law. We can say that the Faraday's law is opposite to the Oersted experiment. In Oersted experiment, we know that current carrying wire produces magnetic field. If there is a change in magnetic flux, current will be generated. It is proved by Faraday. So that we can say that is Faraday law. What is the Faraday law? Faraday law states that when there is a continuous change of magnetic flux linked with a closed coil, a current is generated in the coil. Means take a coil connected to that two ends of that coil connected to galvanometer. Why we have to use that galvanometer is galvanometer is used to find the current of minute values. For the minute values we will use galvanometer. When you bring a bar magnet near to that coil, we can identify that there is a deflection in galvanometer. If you move backwards also, you will get a deflection in magnetic field. When the magnet comes near or goes near, there is a change in the deflection in opposite direction. So we can say that when there is a change in flux, when we are bringing magnetic field near to the coil, more flux will be passing through that coil. When we are moving to backwards in opposite direction, that the less amount of magnetic flux passing through the coil. So there is a change existed. There is a magnetic flux change existed in the coil. That is the cause for the generation of current in the coil. That is called induced current. Due to the external magnetic field, current is generated in a coil. When the current passing through the coil, it creates a magnetic field. You are again bringing a magnet, bar magnet near to it. They both are in opposite direction. Suppose they both create north poles or same poles, like poles repels each other, so it moves backward. Unlike poles attracts, it moves forward. Due to the change in the flux, the current will be generated. That current is called induced current. The EMF generated is called induced EMF. The induced EMF is generated in a closed loop is equal to the rate of change of magnetic flux passing through it. The induced EMF is equal to the rate of change of magnetic flux. Change of magnetic flux is denoted by delta phi. Magnetic flux is phi. Change of magnetic flux is delta phi by delta t is the rate of change of magnetic flux. So that rate of change of magnetic flux gives you the induced EMF, that is denoted by E. Here phi be the total flux, change in the total flux. Phi naught means in a coil it has number of turns, more number of turns it has. For one turn the magnetic flux is phi naught. N be the number of turns in a coil. So N phi naught gives you the phi. Then you substitute this formula, you can get the induced EMF. How much EMF generated in the coil you can identify. Next. We already know that in Faraday law there is a change in magnetic flux in short time. How much short time we will take, that much more flux you will get, and the generated induced EMF also will become more. Then what is the direction of that induced current? The induced current is generated in according to Faraday's law. Then what is the direction of the current? We can decide the direction of current by using the Lenz law. The induced current will appear in the such a direction that is opposes the changes in the flux in the coil. If there is a change occurs in the coil, then induced EMF is generated. The generated current direction is in the direction which opposes the change in the flux. Which opposes the change in the flux means delta phi. The direction of the current decides the direction, opposes the changes in the flux in the coil. Next, the applications of Faraday's law. Means these all applications are by using the electromagnetic induction. Due to the induced current only all these will works. First one, security checkup. In large shopping malls and cinema theaters we have an experience to move in from the security check. What is the working principle of that security check? If you observe that there is a coil in the security check, there is a weak magnetic field in that security check. When you enter into that security check, if you have any magnetic substances, the induced EMF will be generated in that one. Then the current movement of current starts, then that gives the alarm will be start immediately. To work any alarm, electric alarm, we need a current. But in that security check there is no current. When you enter in that security check with any magnetic material, what happens? Already there is a weak magnetic field. When you enter into that magnetic substance, there is the induced EMF will be generated. That EMF causes for the starting of alarm. Security alarm starts to ring. That is the working principle in a security check. Next, tape recorder. If you observe tape record cassette, you know you observe a coil in that a tape also there. That tape will be made with ferrous oxide, coated with ferrous oxide. In that ferrous oxide, the sounds will be at different frequencies. The sounds will be generated. When they are moving in the tape recorder with the coil, it turns, then the sound will be appears to us. When induced EMF generates, that makes the sound, that makes that ferrous oxide signals come as sound. ATM centers, we already know that in ATM centers we use some magnetic taped card or a magnetic chip is there in that ATM card. What happens when you enter into when you kept the in ATM machine, what happens? ATM machine also has some magnetic field inside that one, magnetic force, north and south poles. Your ATM card also have some magnetic, weak magnetic field in that one, north and south poles also there. When you are entering this one, there is attraction between the opposite poles and it moves forward. Again it is moving, then what happens? North poles, south poles, means like poles repels. When it repels, the tape will be opens and the stored information is scanned by the machine. When you are bringing out again, due to the continuous attraction and repulsion, the induced EMF will be generated and ATM machine will be worked. Next, induction stove. In an induction stove, at beneath the cool surface, it has a metal coil. When there is a alternating current passes through them, it changes its direction continuously and there is induced EMF will be generated. When you kept a metal pan or metal vessel on the surface of the induction stove, what happens? The induced EMF will be passing through this metal also. Every metal has some specific resistance to each. Due to that resistance, temperature will be generated. The vessel gains the temperature and inside the vessel what we kept, it will be cooked. Induction stove works with the principle of magnetic induction. All these are works with the principle of magnetic induction. Next, AC and GC generators. Generator means which generates the current are called generators. We are having two types of generators, that is alternative current. By using alternative current, that is AC generator, and by using direct current, that is DC generator. In any generator, what is the working principle of generator is mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. In that generator, mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. Thank you.